And surely that's not good.
Immortals bans Talia this time. That's interesting. If anything, I was thinking Immortals maybe pick up a Syndra ban.
Maybe. Still have a chance here. Rumble going to get banned. Vlad as well banned. So Vladimir consistently being taken out. Karma as well as Smoothie's pool gets hit again. I believe that was one of the bans in game 2, but I think it might have been on the C9 side. Actually, there it is. I can see it.
Maybe they want to go for the first big Gangplank themselves.
That's true, actually. We have had Gangplank being pretty high priority for Cloud9. So what is their last ban here?
Yeah, I'm assuming C9 thinks like Huni always wants to counterpick the gameplay, so they're not going to first pick it, but we'll see.
Yeah, C9 are like, we wanted to ban Talia, but they banned themselves, and they banned the Gangplank.
And there's
good call by them.
And there's the Pantheon Flash. Don't think that's what Huni will play, but you never know. That man likes to play just about whatever he pleases. And is it Syndra then? Maybe does Pobelter want to take it away from Jensen?
No, it's a RekSai.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Maybe they should have first picked Riven.
Send a message.
Yeah, or LeBlanc.
I mean, now they could steal it. That'd be horrible. Impact is going to have to show a new champion.
Yeah, Impact is like, finally, I can play something that doesn't suffer that much.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually. So they first picked RekSai with RekSai and Gragas open, and they're pretty even with their strengths. RekSai's a better early game jungler, but...
Yeah, I'm not sure about RekSai first pick. The champion, I mean, like, okay, he's OP or considered a better jungler, but I feel like Gragas is on level, and I'd rather see... This is just like Immortals, they don't prioritize Gnar, I guess, so they didn't pick it against Gangplank, so that makes sense they don't first pick Gnar this time, but I feel like they could have gone for the better power pick, and now they don't even need to pick Gragas because the Immortals are not contesting it, so they can go for the power picks themselves.
Yeah, I think C9's draft this game's really solid. Trundle, I think Gnar actually should have been the first pick for my Immortals because it's the strongest pickup and all the counters are banned. And Trundle and Gnar kite Rek'Sai insanely well in team fights. Makes them almost useless.
Ooh, I like
There's
it.
The Kennen. Okay.
So probably top lane, but could of course be mid as well.
So I've been told from my top laners I've talked to that Kennen is it can win 1v1 versus Gnar. It's a lane counter, and it also has a good team fight. So that's I wasn't sure if he was willing to pick up the Kennen. So that makes sense why he didn't pick Gnar now.
Yeah, it's rough for Gnar early, but then when he gets Maw, it's just like every Maw user. It's pretty painful, so probably Gnar eventually will get ahead. But I think early on, Kennen has a huge pressure, and he can use it to win the team fights. Basically what happened in the first game, he was Rumble, he got ahead, and then he transitioned this into the team fights and getting his team ahead, so they probably are going for the same again.
The Pobelter Viktor.
I mean, it's been a staple, right? So
Eugene Park.
Well, we have Gragas and Sivir on the C9 side, so kind of sticking to a lot of their team fighting, but Viktor already locked in. Last pick for Immortals is Taric, so a different support there. I
like Immortals comp as it fits like their playstyle really well. Like you camp the winning lane, give Huni a lane that can win, pick Huni a lane a champion that can carry team fights, 1v5. You know, you don't have to be a Riven with Dead Man's Plate, get exhausted.
And then killed by Syndra.
Yeah, and like C9's comp can maybe deal with Kennen with an exhaust, but then Immortals also has Pobelter on a team fighter. That's what he does really good on. And then they have WildTurtle on engage support. So I'm liking Immortals comp, but I think it really fits their style really well.
And it's not only a team fighter, it's a wave clear too.
Yeah.
We'll see what C9 have for their last pick here. It should be mid lane for Jensen. Actually go with Zilean, interesting. So we talk about lane dominant champions. What about Zilean? Doesn't seem to fit the general tone of Jensen's mid lane picks.
Yeah, so Zilean versus Viktor, that's generally like when people, like last season, I think GBM was one of the first players to pull it out. And Bjergsen played it a lot. Zilean versus Viktor is a matchup where at first everyone really liked the Zilean side, and then as people got better and better as Viktor, if you dodge bombs, Viktor can actually win the early game pretty hard, but it gets to the point where, you know, Zilean hits level 7, level 9, and he just bombs the wave, and he just shoves, and he completely neutralizes the wave, and then you use Zilean's mid-game teamfight prowess and his strength to basically destroy Viktor in the mid-game, because he's very weak in the mid-game. He needs to get his items. So this is gonna be a good game from the champion side perspective.
Yeah, and the known quantity for Jensen as well has played Zilean. It was actually his counter pick into Malzahar when that champion was quite a bit stronger, so certainly something he can play, but I think we're going to get a very different 1v1 matchup in mid lane because we've seen like a lot of push and pull, some cool like aggression and lots of little things adding up. I imagine we're going to get a little more wave clear this time around.
This is gonna be
Yeah, probably we can take some nap and
Yeah.
it's fine. They're probably gonna wave.
These are very comfortable chairs, so.
Yeah, I see. It's just like everything we knew what the champion pick's gonna be because everything is rigged. So we gotta become more comfortable chairs because to just like, you know.
Well, we got 2 LeBlanc games in a row. It's like probably not that again. I reckon they'll do some wave clear.
We can guess which melee minion Zilean's gonna put his bombs on, you know.
Yeah, this is
matter?
funny that we just like we just say how Resident Slipper it will be, and then gonna be a bloodbath, like starting fighting each other from level 4 and stuff.
Yeah, it could actually be a bloodbath. You know, you can't fight around Zilean with slowing him into double bomb. It actually makes it pretty easy to fight.
Well, I think the C9, the idea is just not going for the team fights. I mean, not going for the lane dominance this time, but going for the team fights because if they can actually get the combo off with the Gragas into Gnar, into Zilean double bomb, they can probably wipe out the whole team. So I think it will be mostly on the impact this game, like how he can get going, like if he's not getting shut down by Huni in lane. And then eventually on the Gnar rolls, it will depend a lot. And probably on Adrian, I would say, because it's called Cosmic Radiance, right?
Yeah.
That stuff can just like, it can negate all the damage from C9.
Yep. Seems decent against the Sivir as well. I like it. I like what Immortals bring to the table, but mid lane is our focus for today. We can, of course, talk about other stuff. So if there's stuff of interest, feel free to raise it. But mid lane, I think, is going to be much more of what we used to see on the Pobelter side, and something that Jensen has done as well. Everyone's going to really chill out here. But maybe junglers will pay some attention. We'll have to see. And there's definitely still stuff to look at here. I'm sure a lot of players back home have tried to play Viktor. I'm one of them. I'm awful. So I'm sure I'll pick up a tip or 2 along the way as well. But
yeah.
what should this matchup look like? I mean, I expect wave clear. Is that all I'm getting?
Get 1,250 gold on a back, and you upgrade your laser,
And then it's it.
sit at your tower for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Viktor gameplay is right now. You can pressure level 1, level 2, maybe level 3, and then you just like fall behind, like get behind.
Oh, Adrian, that's not a good start.
That's
not pretty good.
They just like stop their, and then they stop their Grom, and they will get to the wave first, and he's just gonna use a health spot, so it's nothing bad happened. But yeah, basically Jensen will have kill pressure on Pobelter, and killing Zilean is pretty hard. So then again, we're speaking he's not lane dominant, but at the same time we understand that Zilean has much more kill pressure with the jungler than Viktor has. And as we can see, Jensen is playing this lane pretty good, so he got a bomb on Pobelter while his Q was down, and then when Pobelter used the Q,
another one.
He couldn't do the auto. So yeah, Jensen is shown that he's pretty good with his skill shots.
Yeah, usually Viktor's level 1, level 2, and even level 3 are like really strong, one of the strongest ones in mid lane, because his Q is such a low cooldown, and does so much damage, and gives him a shield. Yeah. But Jensen really playing around there, right?
Yeah, this is like, you don't really,
my goodness.
This is, you don't really want to lose the first couple levels. This is like, again, some Zileans are just picking the champion just because he's good, right? The champion itself. But some Zileans, for example, like KT Fly or like seems Jensen, they're like so good with the bombs that they're picking the lane for actual dominance and to pressure the map and the lane. And we're gonna see, I'm not sure how much action we're gonna see mid lane because once again, like as for Viktor, he probably wants to farm and gets bombed.
He hasn't missed a single one, I don't think.
Yeah, he is being clean. Yeah, I mean, this is really good because generally what happens in this matchup is Viktor can... Jesus, this is brutal. Viktor can like kind of win the early game, and then, you know, sometimes at level 6, actually, Viktor can just chase him down with his ultimate and maybe pull a kill or pull something, but the way that Jensen's playing, since he's winning lane and Zilean's a way stronger mid-game champion. Oh, first miss.
He finally missed.
I mean, we said it
but you can see what happens. If you miss bombs as Jensen or as Zilean, you just get completely zoned off by Viktor for a little bit. But
yeah.
But Jensen he's a man. He's stepping right back up.
I don't know. In solo queue, Viktor feels super bad because like you need to farm too much, and usually the game is over before you get going. So as for my last 20 games against Viktor, I think I won like 18. So I think the champion is not that great. But at the same time, I think he's really good for competitive because he gives everything you need. Like he gives you wave clear, he scales really well, and usually in competitive, mid laner is just like a snore fest and they just farm it out. And this is why I like kind of invention of Talia and Aurelion Soul, because finally mid laners are not just farming, but they can push out the lane and roam and do the plays on the map.
Yeah, I also think especially with the new lane swap change, how you can't lane swap anymore, now, you know, mid lane's actually getting ganked a lot more because the jungler's free to go anywhere, because it used to be like, you know, you pretty much, if there's a 2-1, you pretty much trade sides and you're both ungankable. But now it's actually like gankable, so that makes it more exciting.
I like this change from C9. They're playing around topside this game, and Impact is winning against Huni.
Yeah.
And that's sort of something that we haven't seen. We have seen, but in a different way, where the junglers have not really been mid lane. ReignOver visited maybe once or twice just to check on mid lane more than anything else. Meteos has been on either bottom or top, mostly bot in the first 2 games. And we've really just seen them play the matchup 1v1 like you maybe would have in an old lane swap. Do you think there is room for Meteos and ReignOver to play a bit more aggressive in the mid lane? And maybe not in this matchup, but certainly we had a more explosive mid lane matchup in the last 2 games, and we just didn't see any jungle pressure. I think maybe do they really just need to make sure Huni gets going and maybe to stop Huni on the C9 side?
Well, in this game, it's just not really worth it to go to Zilean. It's much more important to like get Gnar going, because this team comp of C9, it totally relies around Gnar. So if you can get him into split push and get items so he gets tanky enough so he can get good ultimates, then like it's really, really important. And I mean, you can kind of snowball mid lane and you can get gank and maybe even kill on Pobelter, but it's probably not worth it. And for ReignOver, it's just too hard to kill Zilean with Viktor. Viktor doesn't really provide much for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how this lane goes. Use your abilities legitimately just to clear the wave.
Yeah, this is right now, he uses ultimate. He needs to recall, and he doesn't have a teleport. So he basically, instead of the teleport, he's using his ultimate for pretty much the same reason, to push out the wave and to just recall and finally get his like stuff upgrade. And then at level 7, he starts wave clearing the wave in 1 laser, and probably this is where the mid lane action gonna end, and they just gonna farm it out.
All the fun to stop now. Just laser the wave, run away.
Yeah, Jensen's getting a small little freeze here, so he'll have like a 5-10 CS lead probably, but yeah.
Yeah, what they could have done is they could have sent Meteos mid lane. That's probably what they're doing right now, because the lane is frozen, and Pobelter is coming to frozen lane, and they can try to get a gank off. And ReignOver probably should have tried to help him to push it out, but as we can see, the laser of Viktor helps a lot. So he just
they're going for the dive.
Oh, Impact could be in a bit of trouble. Oh, no, it's actually okay. Huni does actually take a tower shot there, and Impact almost makes the outplay happen. ReignOver taking damage as well. And Meteos now coming mid lane. Oh, no mid lane at a gank. Got very excited. Yeah.
He just shown his dominance.
You just steal some experience, maybe.
Yeah,
to be in range of
I guess he's showing his dominance to the Jensen. Or maybe Jensen actually gave him XP. I didn't see. Maybe he gave him the level there. That's why he went there.
So I will say this is the one thing you can do in these wave clear mid lanes, is if you get the first wave clear and you get really nice wards. You know, I thought he was going for the wards, but he's really going for the gank. He went the long way around.
Going straight in for it. Ooh, good pillar. WildTurtle forced to flash out of the way. Adrian gonna eat some damage. Jensen drives
This is
down
what I like. There is a ward, and you just run through it. Wards don't help if the enemy just ignores it and runs through it.
Yeah, I think that wasn't... that was okay for Jensen. He misses 1 wave and he burns a flash, so that was actually pretty good for Jensen.
Yeah, Jensen is like feeling he's already ahead, so he can lose a bit in mid lane, but get his teammates ahead. And now Ashe is really vulnerable without the flash. And their Gnar is ahead, and Huni has to waste TP while Gnar is keeping TP, so they're probably gonna try to make a play bottom.
Yep.
And right now, on Immortals side, what I would do after they recall, I would just go straight top lane and just try to trade the towers.
Yeah, you're pretty much... That actually really set up the play, because now they have the TP advantage. Meteos is already bot side.
And this is where something unlucky happens. They stop WildTurtle's recall, so they cannot go top lane anymore. And after a few recalls, they need to run back bottom. And after that, they are really vulnerable to dive. And probably that's what... They either just gonna get a tower, or they're gonna run back bottom and gonna get dove. And it all will depend on if Taric, with his ultimate, can outplay it.
Well, Dragon actually seems to be the order of the day for Cloud9, so they push the wave in after cancelling that recall, and looks like mid laners might move in a second. ReignOver is going to move into check. Jensen actually went back home though, so can't join with no TP, and Cloud9 don't have enough numbers to actually commit to that Drake.
Yeah, this is like Cloud9 showing their macro, let's say, mistakes again. So basically, they're like doing everything right, and then they sleep up on like something simple, like Jensen recalling, and they are going to the dragon at the same time. They could have just waited for Jensen, keep the pressure bottom, and then go for the bottom dive with the Gnar TP when Jensen comes back mid lane. Like, for example, they keep staying bottom. Meteos helps Jensen to get the pressure back mid lane, and then they go bottom together, and they just get them off the tower. They get a tower.
Oh, Huni, that's real bad. straight back into the turret, forced to burn the ulti. Impact now back in mini form. He needs to hop forward for a little bit more. Just one more auto is going to do it, but Hyper's going to wear off.
Go Impact.
One more! One more! Hey!
Wow.
Solo kill.
Yeah, to extend on that, I mean, what C9 just did is like, it's really bad macro-wise. They're getting the leads from the laning phase and they're making the right plays to get ahead, but then they're just, like, they had so many options there. They could have just hit bot turret and chunked it to like half. And if they knew Jensen had a recall, then they could have just hit bot turret. And I don't think Jensen even had a recall, probably. We could go back to see, but I'm not sure. But he could have saved and secured Dragon, and then they could have gone slower on the bot dive. But instead, like, you know, they're just relying on Impact solo killing his lane, and then ReignOver is like, you know, okay, I'm just gonna go take an objective if you guys aren't going to. So, C9 really just, their macro has not been on point at all.
Yeah, but Impact is covering, or overall C9 is covering with their mechanical outplays all over the place. Like previous game, Impact was just like 1v2 surviving the dives all over again. This time 1v2 he survived the dive and then he almost like killed Huni and then he solo killed Huni after that. And right now, I'm not sure about the build. He's still going for Frozen Mallet, I think. I'm not sure if Mo Memorials would be better because like with Mo you can easily 1v1. But I guess he's going for more team fights and probably because he's getting ahead, he's gonna kill him with Mallet.
Yep. I think, you know, I don't think this game bodes too well for C9 because this game's looking like it's just going to go into a team fight stage because, you know, they're not getting the, you know, the objectives. They're not really taking much. And if Viktor's pretty much free farming right now, like, and Viktor versus their comp can really do a lot of work.
Well, I really like Zilean too, though, so it's just will depend on the execution in team fights a lot. I think it will mostly depend on Impact and seeing how he's playing right now. I guess we can rely on him a bit.
Yeah, Impact versus Huni in the team fights is going to be really important.
Oh my god, again? 1v2, needs a little more. Impact does get the last boulder down, pops back in a mini, and Meteos is able to save him.
Huni still did.
No, that's pretty good. But yeah, Huni, the Riven game, a little out of sorts.
We see the Zilean TP.
Team bottom.
All right,
so
this up.
He wasted his WildTurtle's flash a while back, and we can see this is where it pays off.
Yeah, that was really good timing. Make sure they got the exact timer because the flash is about to come up, and he got the TV off play before it happened.
Yeah,
that was really good by C9.
This is like really good plays by them. But then again, this is where they're like getting ahead in lanes. Their mechanicals like prowess, but they're still not getting any objectives of that. They're just getting kills. I really hope that C9 can translate it in any kind of objectives.
That's Impact. Meteos gonna chase him down. There's the flash out. Impact's here, but ReignOver gonna eat some bombs there. Not enough damage to convert for a kill. Pobelter able to burn those summoners and get out safely.
Well, that's actually, even though he got out, having to burn both summoners there, and Gragas has flash, they should, C9 really, they had a problem with this last game. They really need to force out on this mid turret now. With no flash and Gragas having flash, they should be able to, Viktor should not be able to safely clear this wave. Maybe they have to set up for it, and maybe they can't do it for another 1 to 2 or even 3 minutes. But they need to get a lot of damage on this mid turret with Viktor having no sums, I think. Or they should go to the rotate bottom and make a huge 4-man play there. Basically, they need to make a big play, I think, soon.
Or maybe Impact just solo kills Huni again.
Yeah, that could happen.
I just really like that Impact has so much pressure that he can basically almost 1v2 right now. And because of that, it's really hard for Immortals to do anything. Because like bot lane, they cannot do anything with Kennen TP. And mid lane, they're against Zilean, which is pretty much unkillable until you're like 4-man him or something. And this is where they go. They go on Impact again.
Yeah,
Impact is 2v1.
And they actually pull this one off. Might get away. Hyper gonna start to proc. Knockup's not there. Good boomerang Impact. Oh, he gets stunned on the other end. And finally, a kill back. I want to give it to Huni.
Oh.
And that
Meteos is here.
That's a trade. Huni's dead. Yeah, Impact just gonna kill him.
All right, Impact, he's going pretty.
Oh, that ulti was sick. Meteos, no, not enough though. No help forthcoming? Let's play Pobelter. Yep, forcing the flash.
I like that Meteos is not wasting his flash.
That was bizarre, but Impact's kind of still a worth trade. All right, here's maybe some issues. Adrian going back in. Nice arrow from WildTurtle.
Viktor is going bottom.
Trundle.
He needs to do something here. Pobelter looking to dive.
No sums, no sums. He can't go for that because he has no sums. It's too risky. He doesn't know where Zilean is exactly, too. He's been off the map since he recalled for a while.
Yeah, C9 is starting really well this game.
Yep.
And it's funny, you know, we're here looking at the mid lane and seeing a lot of wave clear, and it really is the side lane instead of just getting things going for Cloud9. I think Jensen, though, has certainly had a bit more impact. Like, he's at least been able to leave a little more, and he's trying to at least create zones of pressure. to sort of threaten these side lanes rather than just sticking in the lane.
Yeah, I
and
finally like it that I guess it's some kind of mentality when he's playing the lane dominant laner. He tries to pressure his lane more and more, and he doesn't really like goes on map a lot. And I guess it's somehow related to also both side lanes winning this time and not like trading the map. So I guess the idea was when they're trading the sides of the map, then he's just staying mid lane and keeps the pressure. But this game, they're like winning both bot and top, so he's basically free to go anywhere. And he decided to just help their bot lane, and it paid off in a kill on WildTurtle. And their bot lane probably was slightly behind, but now they're ahead. And their top lane is winning pretty hard.
Yeah, it seemed like the bot lane was quite a wash, but then he was able to influence and actually create 2 winning lanes, which is pretty important. And I'm pretty sure the longer this game goes, the better Gnar is versus Kennen in the split push. He's 2 levels up right now, so that's pretty gross. And also, Jensen got a lot of good tower damage.
Yeah.
And in a matchup like this, where they both have insanely good wave clear, it's really important to get every little piece of tick damage you can get on that turret, because if you can ever crack that down, these wave clear mid laners basically like fall apart once that mid tier 1 turret falls, because then they can't wave clear very well.
Yeah, and it's super easy to like dive them or like get the vision, and they cannot really face check or anything.
Yeah.
So they're basically stuck there.
Because if they sit under their tier 2 tower, they're just gonna be like, okay, sit under your tier 2, I'm gonna take full vision of the jungle and Baron, and good luck.
Dude, where did he go? Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Maybe TP down.
Okay, this is gonna be probably a pretty big fight, or is everyone just gonna back off?
C9 don't quite commit for it. Sneaky already burned his ultimate. So again, just trying to stop Immortals from doing any pressure.
There is a chance
in
Impact will get a TP bottom with the Gnar up.
Gnar just hit Mega too. His Mega just popped, so they have a window right now, but they don't have a really. They have really good TP boards in the ball lane actually for this Gnar.
Yeah, they have a good, but they decided to get a top tower and trade. Not sure about that one.
Yeah, they're not using their lead.
Yeah, they'll be losing their first blood on tower.
That's like one of the step ones. Is if you're ahead in a game, you should not look to trade. If you're behind in a game, you should look to trade because it just stalls out the game.
They haven't really been trading because of the first blood on towers. We can't even say that Immortals gets light ahead of that.
Yeah, they did.
It
It looks like they're a good dragon too.
Bad news maybe, C9 kind of lost the first one.
Here comes, he's coming in, how much rage is he?
He has 60%, so he's almost have Mega, but they lost the Dragon already.
Drake's down.
Oh,
Oh, big ulti from Pobelter. Jensen getting chunked. He's forced to ult himself, but they're actually just going to buy a bit more time. Impact zoning what he can, but he has to actually hop away from the fight in Mega Gnar. Immortals get away with that one. No kills, but get pretty much a free Drake.
This is just... C9, they're again doing mistakes that they did in previous games. They're not trying to force plays themselves in terms of macro-wise, like objectives. They're always reacting to Immortals, and because you're reacting, you're sometimes, or like most often, you're late. So we could see that even though he TP'd, he didn't have his Gnar prepared, the Mega Gnar, and then they already lost the Dragon, so they just like waste TP. If he TP'd before that, when he had a Mega Gnar on the bottom lane and they collapsed there, Zilean could have TP'd too, and so he would be there first before Viktor. They could get a good fight going. It would be much better than this.
Yeah, that would have been a game-winning play if they got a big fight on the bot side, but they ended up not going for it.
And now, even though C9 are ahead in gold, they pretty much equalize because of the amount of dragons Immortal have.
Might be able to actually pick up the tower right here.
Yeah, Meteos is behind him. They're going to try for it, but not enough damage.
Unlucky. Very low,
good
though.
damage.
It's basically a dead turret almost.
Viktor almost got dry lice. I guess this is when Immortals will...
Oh my god.
Jeez. I mean, every time I'm just like, wow, I mean, C9, they're really messing up, and then just Impact solo kills his lane.
Yeah, just like... This is pretty much frozen mallet now, so it's time for Huni to just try to group with team or say like, team carry me. Because like, right now he can only sit under the turret, because if he goes out, Impact just kills him. And Impact will probably have so much pressure that he can even 1v2 right now. Yeah.
This is the proper play right here. They're pressuring top and they're pressuring bottom at the same time. And Viktor can't really rotate without losing his tower. If Viktor rotates anywhere, Viktor's basically completely stuck with mid now, or he loses his tower. He has to kill waves now.
Yeah, even if he stays mid, there is a chance that Impact gonna like roam, or they're just gonna do cheap damage hit by hit and just kill it.
It's kind of funny to watch Zilean move around so quickly, but again, Jensen.
Oh,
Hello, Pobelter caught.
He has no cleanse.
There's the wall up. Yeah, Pobelter actually can't really get out of this. Smoothie there, following up with the pillar, flash forward. Jensen wants it, but it's a big gravity field. Chaos Storm going to follow him, but Jensen able to get the first kill, and Impact might just run forward with a bit of speed. Flashes in, looking for Huni. Slows him down, but C9 do not chase any further than that.
All right, take some turrets, C9. This is your chance.
I mean, they should get mid lane, right? Sneaky going to get it.
All right.
We did it, boys.
Impact decided to just like solo carry this game or something.
Yeah, he's playing really well.
He just like, he dominated in top lane, getting a lot of pressure going, and it feels like when Immortals, like when Huni gets shut down, they're just like gameplay falls apart.
Yeah, it does kind of feel that way. Also, do you think, you know, I think Jensen and Impact have been playing mechanically lane really well. It's just Impact has been making sure that his lead turns into more leads. It's turning into towers. It's turning into, you know, roams on mid. So, and so is Jensen. Jensen has done the same thing, roaming bottom. So Jensen's been playing this lane really well, and this whole game just really well.
Been a nice change, really, because Jensen was kind of stuck in his lane for the first 2 games, but Zilean with the TP able to get around pretty quickly. Quickly want to touch on the item builds. It's pretty standard stuff for Viktor as we watch Immortals take out that top turret. Perfect hex score first versus ReignOver. Some people like to build the tier 2 upgrade, but I know it's a small thing. I'm just kind of wondering, is there a proper way to build Viktor? Like, you generally get the same 2 items, but some people do have slight variations in kind of when they finish the hex core versus when they finish their ReignOver.
Oh, after the nerf, you always should finish the hex core.
Yeah.
It's pretty much not worth it anymore to keep on 2 because it's just 750 gold. And there are like really seldom cases where you can get ReignOver earlier.
Oh, the tunnel didn't go through all the wall.
Radiant's also going to save them a little bit. ReignOver still eating damage, though.
Maybe chases down with Zilean. Oh, Impact has big rage too, and Zilean's speeding him up.
Yeah, everyone is getting slowed by the frozen wallet. Impact's gonna go for it.
Yeah,
He's the Zilean speed ups.
He's going for Pobelter. Needs a bit more speed. Doesn't get it.
Yeah, Pobelter popped his ghost and ran away. But now he doesn't have both summoners again, so Viktor is super vulnerable, and it's their wave clear, and they don't have Cosmic Radiance too, so C9 can look for some kind of dive right now.
They do also have a bot wave building huge, so I imagine they might even go for bot tier 2. They should definitely go for bot tier 1. Jensen is but the blue buff will help him bring his mana back up.
Got a lot of edges as well, so
Impact has teleport too, and he's building his Gnar up. He'll probably try to keep it at like 90% and just look for the play.
Yeah, I really want to see them actually capitalize, make a play like they did, unlike how they did the first time. I want to see Gnar get the high rage and hold on to it, and then them dive the tier 2 bottom. They do have to get vision control of the bot side first, though.
Yeah, they have 2 choices right now. Either look for the dive with Impact tipping, or just keep Impact in the lane and hope that he can just like get the turret against Kennen. Because the difference is super brutal right now. He's 3 levels ahead.
And now he's about to pop his mega.
That's not even funny. 60 CS ahead, 3 levels ahead.
Wow. Okay.
Do
they still have that wave bottom? I can't tell.
I think it got
No, it got cleared. That's pretty depressing.
Yeah, they're probably just looking to like keep pressuring top.
Yeah.
And hope that Impact doesn't get collapsed and probably outplays 1v3. Which he probably gonna do. Which he probably gonna do.
Hopped over the wall.
Hopped
Nailed
over the
it.
wall.
Well, maybe the Drake is where C9 want to look, because it is up in 25 seconds. I haven't got one just yet. It felt like they could have got either of the first 2, maybe even both. But let's see if they maybe play a little bit more around the objective this time, as they're actually getting vision on this red side of Immortals.
I feel like Immortals are usually, when they're ahead, they're playing more fast than C9. C9 is playing pretty slow. But at the same time, I guess we cannot really blame them. They don't want to do the mistake. And they have really comfortable lead, and they're just going for neutral objectives. And with Infernal Dragon, they'll get as strong as Immortals are. Immortals are contesting.
Here we go.
This is
Zilean split off. Jensen's completely alone over there. So
gets a good double bomb though as Huni comes in. That's a big chunk, and Impact's almost mega. They get the dragon. C9 going to force them away. Jensen's positioning actually works out pretty well there just for 2 bombs.
Yeah, I really let him. Like, they couldn't. Generally, like, the only way that IMT is going to win a team fight is if Kennen flashes in and ults on basically Zilean and Sivir and like Gnar. He has to like hit basically everyone, and they have to kill Jensen before he can get his ult off. And even if that happens, Impact might still just carry the fight. So.
Yeah, and then there is a chance Dragons will just throw away the Kennen, so.
Yeah.
And then this happens. ReignOver gets himself caught. Oh, Filler back in. Cosmic Radiance is going to save him, but Sneaky taking damage as well. Ulti there from Jensen is going to keep Sivir alive though. But it looks like damage from Pobelter is going to slow down Meteos, but Impact is just going crazy.
Impact TP'd.
He's unstoppable. Adrian's dead, I think, actually. He's one more auto, pops in, flashes forward actually, and does get it.
Yeah, Impact doesn't care.
No, he's 5-on-1. He does not.
Yeah, this is like, usually when you have Zilean and your top lane gets ahead, you wish it is Jax and Irelia, but I guess Gnar working fine with that.
I actually really like when a tanky top laner gets ahead, because then you can just ulti him. It's basically like he's legitimately unkillable, because if you don't focus Impact, he'll kill everyone. If you focus Impact, he's going to come back full health and you just kill him twice. So it's like, what can you do? So I really think the only win condition is to burst down Jensen. So it's all about Jensen's positioning and making sure he's not volatile.
Yeah, and Jensen doesn't have the cleans, so they really gotta hope that the arrow hits Jensen and they can kill him fast enough.
Yeah. They really have to, they just have to commit everything, honestly. And even then, like, when you're diving that far, Sivir might get a few lucky crits and ricochets around, so.
Yeah, or some random double bomb gonna land, or the
Yeah.
Gragas, or
just-
they have so much peel.
Or just impact.
Yeah.
Or just impact. Certainly has been making just that here in this particular game. You did mention though, Glue, that you felt like Zilean had a strong mid game versus Viktor. Are we at that point now? Like Viktor, 2 items generally feels pretty good. Obviously, we'll get better as the game goes on. But kind of what point is Pobelter looking to get to where he's like, okay, I feel like I am actually relevant now back in this game? Because it feels like right now, especially with Cena having the lead in general, Zilean is just stronger and probably will be for the next 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes.
6 items.
Yeah.
6 items. Wow, that's a long way.
I think once it might take as long as Void Staff Death Cap, but even that last fight, if you saw, he basically he basically 100-0'd Sivir, or not 100-0, but he basically killed Sivir almost by himself, forced this Zilean ult, and then he almost killed Gragas on the side too. Now, Impact was destroying everyone on the other side of the fight.
The problem is like because of how behind they are and how far Impact ahead is, right? He probably needs to kill them faster. So yeah, voice stab at least,
Yeah,
and especially because they have double edges, maybe even Rabadons.
So it's kind of on, and it's still like Viktor's strong, it's just like C9 is so much stronger.
And there is a chance he will still get one shot. So
Yeah, I do think, you know, I think Viktor's strength. I think Viktor is somewhat strong, and if C9 overextend a little bit and they win, like if Immortals win a single fight or like Viktor gets a shutdown on Gnar, then that could be like ginormous, like almost unstoppable. But I think C9 will have to overstep for Viktor to really like shine.
yeah, and you understand you have a problem when you're playing against tank top laner, or like Gnar specifically, right? That doesn't even go for the split bush build. He goes for a full team fight build, and he still 1v1s your top laner like 3 or 4 times in the game and like gets insane amount of pressure.
Yeah, I think he's about to have. I think he's gonna go Spirit of Size. I don't think he'll go Banshees, but he's about to have Merc Treads plus another MR item, and
Yeah, it looks like Punches or Hex Drinker.
like Viktor can't go past Gnar. Viktor has to focus Gnar in almost every fight, so you know, and then he has to kill him again with Zilean ulti, so it's gonna be tough for sure for Pobelter.
And then probably not gonna build GA, so he's gonna kill him again.
Fun.
And then Zilean ult is back up because of the cooldown reduction, and yeah.
Unlucky.
Sounds great.
That
Yeah, he has to go through a lock it, yeah.
sounds like a great time.
Oh, certainly something. I'm not sure I'm a little too happy with the prospect, but Cloud9, I think, in general, doing a bit of a cleaner job sort of getting the structures as well. They did take bottom outer, Impact did that. Almost took out top tier 2, but couldn't quite commit to finishing it off. And that pace we mentioned where CNN were playing a little slower, kind of making sure that they held on to their lead, might start seeing them speed up a little bit, because I think they've realized just how far ahead they are.
Yeah, they're pretty much just like, hey, Impact, we want this objective, go over there. And then he's just like, all right, got it. And while in the meantime, like, everyone else is just wave clearing and scaling up.
So he actually finished his item, and we see its Spirit Visage.
Yep.
And they got the double locker. That's really good. Like, Kennen can't do anything anymore in this game, it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard, especially with exhaust. Like,
It just like basically the game is almost like 4v5. I mean, you just like you don't want to get upset or something, but you understand that the champion is a team fight and he's a mid power spike, right? Where in the mid game he shines the most, and if he gets shut down so hard, and like at this moment they have too much Empress, and they basically can negate all his damage with double locket, and then after that. Basically, the only thing he can do is go on Jensen and kill him. And if they don't do that, or like Sivir before Jensen ults her, and if they cannot do that, it's gonna be really rough to win the team fight. And those bombs gonna do a lot of damage now when Jensen is at 3 items.
Yeah, they do a lot of damage.
Is Death Cap the standard here, or is Jensen just being like, we're ahead, I want to try and close this game out?
Usually you actually see Void Staff third, but if you're this strong, you know, generally if you can afford the Death Cap, you go for it, but and he's pretty strong, so.
Yeah, Death Cap is the item. If you're like super ahead and you understand you can buy it, it's more effective, especially on champions that have some kind of the defensive scaling, which is Zilean Ultimate, or like Orianna Shield, for example, or like some other champions that basically get at least something. If you're pure damage, Void Staff is always better.
Yep.
But if you have any supportive ability, then you can like And also, the problem is when you get the void stuff, it's harder to get Rabadons because like you don't have slots for items. As if you get Rabadons, you can get the blasting one still. But as for Rabadons, you get needlessly large rod and you basically sit on it until you get the 2,000 gold or something. So Rabadons is better if you can get it, basically.
Yeah, also, if you look at the enemy, like, they have a Kennen top. Oh, well.
Pobelter.
They're going ham.
He wants it, but he's gonna die.
Alright. Well,
No,
that was a random way to
He was farming.
possibly lose Baron.
He was farming a wave.
I like the way
All he
C9
wanted.
play. So their macro doesn't really go that well, right? But then they just like
Run it down mid.
run it down mid.
Yeah, they're having a good time of running it down mid, I must say.
This is like the second time they do the same. They did the same previous game. They're just like, some point of the game, they're ahead. Sivir presses R, they run and kill Pobelter.
Yeah, that was a really decisive engage right there, I must say.
Ooh,
They're getting desperate right now.
Yeah, this is ReignOver. Maybe overstepping his bounds. Meteos gonna knock him back.
Impact
Impact
1v1ing.
casually killing WildTurtle, and now he's in the backline zoning out Huni. ReignOver's dead, and Cloud9 gonna keep going. This game may not last too much longer.
Yeah, C9 played this game really safe.
Impact.
Watch how much
Oh,
health
it's
this guy's gonna come back with. Spirit Facade
All of
plus
it?
Zilean ult.
Almost all of this.
Feels bad.
Like 2,500 of everything. And Impact's chasing Huni. Adorable.
Yeah, Impact is playing like he once was a world champion or something.
Once upon a time. Well, looks like C9 actually going to go for Baron maybe instead. They've taken down mid in here, but can't end the game because it's a little too early. But this Baron probably not going to last too long here. They have quite a lot of damage.
Yeah. Just didn't have flash. Is he looking for a kinky play over the
Does have
wall?
flash.
Oh, here he goes.
Oh my god, he's in! Doesn't steal it, dies instantly.
The dream.
Failed
Dead.
Was he warded? Yeah, they had some vision, but and another desperate play from Huni goes sideways.
Yeah, it does seem when Huni is not having a good game that it's just, or Huni can't carry team fights, Immortals is not having a good time.
Well, in this game, it's not even, it's just like, yeah. I mean, it's not even like he can't even carry the team fight. It's like, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just like he dies 1v1 so much, and he tries to force a lot of bad team fights, and then it like starts being worse and worse from that point. It's just like, Huni has a bad day today.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like, he's almost hurting more than helping in this game, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe he can turn it around.
Yeah, his game 1 was really good. His game 2 and game 3, he's been trying to play the same style, and it just hasn't been working out. Impact has also been playing out of his mind, so.
Kyle's going to start to melt those. Cloud9 looking to try and end this game. Jensen, just for an update, looks like he's trying to build a second death out. I think he's actually just getting very strong because he knows the game is ending soon, but kind of a curious little build here.
It would be funny if he got 2 just a larger rod there. I guess 1 is enough.
Maybe he didn't have enough money, who knows? Maybe we'll never know because this tower is just getting blown to pieces. Impact still taking damage. It's actually taking almost nothing there. Pobelter back in again. Meteos still going to try and shut him down. Doesn't work. Impact also has a GA, so they have to burn through that and the Zilean ulti.
Immortals played that about as well as they possibly could have. Dodged double bombs, dodged almost everything. And they're not even gonna get the inhibitor.
Wow. The problem is they used a lot, and then C9 just gonna back and probably come back, or like go bottom and do the same. It's really hard for Immortals to do anything right now. They need like some sick flank of Kennen, and then they still need to kill a couple people, because right now it feels like if Kennen gonna TP and try to flank without zones completed, he's just gonna get one shot.
Yeah, that's really tough. Plus, I mean, it's just C9 is so tanky, and they also have Zilean and Sivir. They're just like such a tanky and mobile and like impossible to kill. It's very hard for Immortals. I'm even surprised they were able to defend that. That was good by them, but.
Yeah, at this point, I don't even know. Maybe Immortals should ban Sivir, because it feels like it gives C9 too many options. With, like, they do mistakes in their macro play, but they cover it with the Sivir ultimate a lot.
I feel like they've cleaned up a little bit as well, so, and like they're at least in the right place, but I agree. Immortals immaculate in that regard in a lot of ways.
It's hard to say if they clean it up because they basically won all 3 lanes.
True.
So like,
It's easy to clean your macro play when you win the whole map, that's fair.
yeah, it's just like they were winning, but then they just ran down mid. So it's just like, yeah, they cleaned it up, but they lost the dragon, which they shouldn't have lost when they were ahead. And then they lost actually 2 dragons. They lost the mountain dragon because they did something random.
First Infernal, yeah.
At first Infernal, so yeah, but then like it just comes to the point where they just press R.
Yeah.
So I have to say, because there has been, oh, never mind, Impact's going in first. Actually does get frozen in the gravity field. Pop back in the
He's
mini
taking a
form.
lot of damage.
Yeah,
Viktor
be careful.
ulti.
Pobelter
Oh,
get the
getting a lot of
flank in.
damage.
Actually, boiled
Wow.
Pobelter, Jensen misclicked his ultimate and ulted himself instead of Sneaky.
Oh no, that's not
Well,
what you want
this
to
is
be.
like the one thing that Immortals can do is just completely outplay them in a team fight. Yeah,
That's Immortals.
Dead.
Gets a lot of health back, but DA's not going to be enough.
Come back.
Who needs
Hi.
chasing?
Yeah,
That should buy Viktor enough time to buy Death Cap to where he's actually like a very, very big threat.
yeah. Right now, most of the damage and most of what does it's Pobelter doing a lot of work, trying to cover for his team. And what he does is basically he goes on Sneaky. And this fight, what they try to do, like C9 every fight, is Jensen ulting Sneaky after Pobelter ults him.
Yeah.
But this time Jensen misclicked his ult, and it cost a lot. Like we can see Pobelter coming from the side. And
Doing a lot of damage off on Sneaky.
here, Sneaky's half HP and Jensen ults, and he will
Yeah.
himself. And this is where they gotta run, because they don't have the ultimate on Sivir, so she cannot do damage anymore.
And Viktor also
Eugene
get his
Park
GA
Viktor.
down. Man, that's rough. And I mean, we talked about Viktor maybe getting to the point where we can outscale. Maybe approaching that at this point, although we're going to force again.
Huni, no.
Huni caught.
Huni,
Ooh,
no.
good on his. Actually does have
Double
it now.
bomb might stun him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so much damage. Meteos just goes in for it. And that's going to be a kill. No impact on the side. It
Exactly.
should be enough. No, Adrian's kind of caught up on the wrong side. He's going to go down here as well. Does flash the wall, so might be okay. Elder Dragon there, but Adrian's going to chill out. C9, 5v4. See if they can make something happen.
That's the Elder Dragon up, right? Yeah. So Elder Dragon's up.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yep,
time
alright.
to take him maybe.
Eugene Park. Okay, never mind. Just go kill it.
No
He's
problem.
Viktor. He knows his true calling in life. Take the mid wave.
But like, he gotta get Rabadons.
He's very close, yeah, to that one.
And it's,
Gonna get blue buff too. And RekSai's taking red buff.
yeah, just like the dragon, I mean,
What?
it's 2 minutes, so if C9 cannot do anything, then it's probably gonna give Immortals enough time to actually be able to teamfight them.
Yep.
So it just depends on if they can finish with this dragon right now, or with the next Baron.
I think they'll just hold on to this buff until Baron spawns, and then they have about 14 seconds of where the dragon will be on and Baron will be up, and they can probably just burn the Baron.
Or they will just press Sivir ult and run down mid.
Could always. I mean, that is their best strategy.
Run at mid? Well, here we go.
I don't think
Yeah,
C9 should be, or Immortals should be able to defend. They should get triple inhib here, but we'll see.
this is a problem from Elder Dragon compared to Baron. Like the wave dies pretty fast, but they still could have, even without the wave, get the tower.
Ooh,
Oh.
pillar into the double bomb.
Yeah, ulti down on ReignOver as well, but that's a lot committed just on the tankiest member of Immortals, Cloud9. I guess they had to use their Mega when they had it.
Gragas was too now. I really just want to see C9 to use their abilities, use their ultimates to force the inhibs down, and they're just holding on to the Sivir ulti. I mean, they could basically have Gnar suicide and just have Zilean ulti, and they would not be able to even kill him. So
Well, they got the inhib though, so.
they did get one, but they still have one left. So I guess they're holding on.
Yes, they want to use the Sivir ult for the last one.
And Viktor just bought Death Cap. Just is fresh TP in.
Yeah, Jensen is bad.
Finish
Yeah.
the void stuff.
He's very.
Still hasn't needed to large rod. He is huge.
Yeah, they can't defend this, no way. They're gonna
We're
try
gonna
that.
try
They
it.
have to.
They have to
Yeah,
try it.
they're trying to kill Sivir again.
Getting exhausted.
He's dead.
Trundle down.
Turtle,
Taric
nice.
ulti.
Yeah,
Very
got
nice.
right into down.
Pobelter needs to make a
Huni's
big
coming from
play.
the flank.
Not enough on the ulti, I don't think. Huni already used his ultimate as well. I think they should be able
Oh,
to get out of
Viktor
it.
doing tons of damage.
Oh, Sneaky this time had the ulti on him. Jensen fixed the right target.
Yeah,
And they win another fight.
but it's like for
Or did
C9
they?
it's super hard.
Is
That's
Adrian
gonna take him out.
dead?
That's gonna take him out.
Oh,
Jensen.
He actually killed him from the first bomb with the fire, if you notice the bomb popped early, so you didn't even need that second bomb. Oh, they're going for the flank again. Does Zilean have ulti up yet? No, it's still down.
down for the
Okay,
Yeah,
wall
Sneaky
as well.
gonna die for that.
Oh, no.
And they got the 3 inhibs, but
Oh, Protobelt. He's trying to get out. He's okay.
probably Immortals, the only choice for Immortals right now is rush Baron and get it. Because if
They can't though, they'll lose their whole base.
yeah, if they don't get the Baron right now, they're gonna lose the game though. So like they have no choice and they're going for it.
This is rough. I think they should honestly just, well, maybe Kennen can clear, no, Kennen I don't think can clear all that, can he?
Well, they're trying to do that. It's like it's really a rough choice, but it's yeah. I guess they just.
I
leave
think
it.
you just have to back up. They have an inhib spawn. I think they should go try to get all the ways good again. They didn't lose either of the Nexus towers, and those will. Do they still regen slowly?
Yes.
Okay, they'll still regen slowly. So, I mean,
good
they're winning
fighting,
team fights. I mean, Pobelter's playing out of his mind in these team fights, and you know, C9's just not they're not getting the right fights off.
Well, it's really hard when you're going on the high ground.
Yeah.
So you just like at this point, Pobelter, like what they're doing is either Pobelter or Huni, he's coming from the side. When you're going for the inhib, you can go through that door and you get a pretty sick flank. So this is why it's really hard to get inhibs. And Pobelter was doing a really good job of abusing it and like getting on Sneaky and getting damage on him.
This Baron is really big though. If they get this Baron, it's gonna be really hard for them to wave clear like triple inhib down waves.
Well, Baron's going to go down. I don't think Immortals are actually in the area to get this. ReignOver's getting zoned out almost at this point. Impact's got his GA back up, and there's the Baron over to C9.
Yeah, Huni's trying to win the PvE, but it's pretty hard.
Yeah, they're playing turret defense now, and then it's gonna be really hard once everyone gets back. We'll see though. Maybe Pobelter can make an insane play and just kill Sivir and Zilean. I don't know.
Alex said 6 items. He's getting close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that Lich Bane last.
I mean, we see that Pobelter finally got his power spike and he's carrying this fight. The problem is like, how do we say it? Unlucky team?
Yeah.
Unlucky team.
A little bit too late.
Yeah, just like, this is the story about Viktor.
Oh, wow.
This is the engage.
Wow, they're getting out sneaky.
Do they have ulti? I do. Zilean mentioned ulti.
Yes,
A big Taric ulti. Pobelter's invulnerable right now.
Not bad at all, but they need to keep moving
Killing
for it.
Meteos.
Huni going back in, trying to kill Sneaky. Meteos getting low, but he gets out. Impact is buying a lot of time. Huni finally falls down. Impact is still alive. I think he's got GA as well. Finally
Pobelter.
goes down.
Kill sneaky.
Pobelter does actually get him, but the ulti from Jensen.
God, what in the world is going on?
Yeah, this is pretty much the
They
Viktor.
lost. Ooh, come on, defend. Oh my God.
Only one down.
Well, I think Pobelter should be really close to Luden's gold. That's what he's going for.
Siege Bane.
These Taric ults are just like so insane because Viktor got Gragas ulted into all of them, but since he had the Taric ultimate at that time, it didn't matter, and he lived long enough to carry the fight.
Let's
Crazy
get it
engage.
again. They get an engage on Sneaky. He couldn't spell shield it on time. And then Sneaky comes up, and they cannot really kill him fast enough the second time.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was an insane engage by ReignOver. If he didn't get that engage off, I'm pretty sure they would have just lost the game here. But then again, I'm pretty sure Immortals should have lost this game like 7 times by now. So.
Yeah, Pobelter is doing really well in teamfights, dodging most of the skill shots too. He's like super fragile, but he doesn't die because he dodges a lot of things with his ghost. And right now, it comes to the point where C9 don't really have the lead anymore.
Yeah, Impact's not like, he can't 1v9 anymore because everyone else is level 17, level 18 too, so feels
Yeah,
bad.
the only problem is like Kennen still doesn't have the voice style, so he doesn't do that much damage. But he's getting there.
I mean,
Yeah, the Kennen's starting to become a champion again.
yeah, he distracted them for a long time in the back end of that team fight, if nothing else.
Yeah, the notorious POB is not going out easy,
No, he never does.
Yeah.
especially on Viktor.
Yogi's like, I don't want to ruin my Viktor win ratio.
Well, that's Viktor for Jensen. So Luden's for Jensen.
Yeah.
You mentioned Lich Bane. Alex could be the other build there for Pobelter. I kind of want to see it because I think he does need to carry this game. Seems like
Yeah.
maybe the best item to do so.
He has the Aether Wisp, so I'm assuming that's why he's gonna go. I don't think this. Oh, he could be going Lich Bane too. Actually, Lich Bane is also. Lich Bane is probably better actually because he has what? He has 20% CDR. What's his CDR at? I'm not sure. He
Wait.
probably has 10% scanning CDR runes.
It's like 20 right now, so it will be 30.
Yeah, having higher CDR in these late game teamfights is actually pretty important. And also, the Lich Bane Q damage is absurd. So
Yeah, he'll also get a bit of mana, which gives more shield, which is cool. At least something. I don't think it's gonna save him though if he gets engaged on. This is like, it's really hard for the Immortals to engage now because the only option they have is TP from Kennen, and as we saw, the Kennen, he dies pretty fast, and ReignOver doesn't have flash anymore, so until ReignOver gets flashback, it's really hard for him to engage.
to be honest, I also think it's really hard for C9 now to push into the base now that Viktor is so strong. Ashe is also like doing a ton of single target DPS. Like Ashe has really high DPS and really hard kiting capabilities, and Gragas does not have flash to engage. So.
Well, I think the most problem right now is that Sneaky doesn't have his 6th item, so it should be either VT or the Mercurial Scimitar, and both would have helped him a lot against Viktor. But this way, he just gets chunked super hard, and it's very hard for him to like do anything.
Got a little bit of life steal.
I am right now. Spell shield's down now.
Well, we've got Jensen's ulti ready. Impact's actually kind of face tanking here. They need to take at least one of these because they can't even attack the Nexus. They don't get through these inhibs.
It's getting tense.
This is a long siege, and like, I think Cloud9 almost getting a bit worried.
You know these
They've
hearts
tried
are
this
hard.
5 times, and they're just like, we haven't won this game yet. What's going on?
You know all these guys' hearts are like, they're pumping hard right now.
Yeah,
This is a very like anxious moment in the game because one mistake by any player could cost the game.
Yeah, Sneaky is like, I had enough of that, and he's playing much more careful now. Like previous 2 sieges, they were trying like super hard. They're just sending Sivir as the front line and using Zilean ult on her, but it doesn't
no.
work.
Oh,
And
God.
this is the engage from Huni.
Oh, arrow missed though. Huni's actually in. He gets in the backlines onto Sneaky. Sneaky still trying to kite it out. Does have a Zilean ulti on him, but he's taking so much healing, he might not even get the ulti down. Manages to stand his gun and take out Huni. And Immortals just don't get through the rest of it. ReignOver, the ultimate is going to save him as Taric. He's able to make sure he stays alive, but Meteos re-engages there with a body slam flash.
Ooh.
And Pobelter has to try something here.
Ashe was trying to finish off Gnar on side, but he ran away with 1 HP.
Yep, he's gonna TP back too. It's gonna be really hard for him
And
to deal with
Pobelter
that.
is trying to carry this fight again.
Fortunately, it's like 5v2 with Taric helping him out.
Zilean gonna TP back, and they probably gonna try to finish it off right now with 2 people dead.
Yeah, Impact already TP'd back in, so he's actually committing to try and push this in.
Zilean ult is still up. Zilean is TPing back too, fresh.
It's probably not still up, it's already up.
Yeah, it's back up. And Meteos back in onto WildTurtle. That's a good catch.
That'll be it,
Jensen
boys.
gets a shutdown. Adrian can take
No,
another
Pobelter 1v9.
Here we go.
5.
Pobelter. Oh, Jensen.
Oh,
He goes in. Ults himself though in time, and the Nexus is going to fall. Cloud9 finally win game number 3, but Immortals put up one hell of a fight.
I want to see the damage deal after this game.
Does a lot.
I want to see like how much Pobelter did.
I think
I mean, he had to kill Gnar like
Quite
5
a bit.
times in one team fight, right?
Yeah.
So it was a lot.
He's like, oh, I gotta kill Sneaky a couple times, so that Gnar 3 times, maybe someone else a couple times, like that Meteos with like Gragas with 4k HP and GA.
Yeah.
All right, I killed them all.
Man,
yeah, I bet Viktor had like like either 60 to 70k damage dealt. Ashe might have had like 40, and then everyone else is just like 10.
Yeah.
That was quite the struggle from, well, honestly, you know, Jensen also played that game really, really well, 8-0-7. You know, he didn't really make many mistakes, especially mechanically. But just C9's macro is still, their only strategy is just run it down mid, and right now it's still working for them, but...
That's why I want to see the Sivir ban, because I feel like their strategy relies a lot. Well, I guess if they ban Sivir, they will have Jhin, so instead of running down mid, they'll have like Jhin ulted mid, and then it's like run down the guy that's getting Jhin ulted. So until you can't ban them all, so maybe Huni just has to step up and not die 1v1 to Impact.
and that's sort of thing I wanted to ask is that I think the last 2 games when C9 have won, it's felt like Jensen's mid lane pick has been more about top lane than necessarily mid lane. Like, yes, he's playing well against Pobelter, but I think a lot of times, like, both Syndra into Riven and Zilean into Kennen kind of shut down a lot of what Huni wanted to do. And if he's winning his lane already, like, what is he possibly going to do if Jensen's also picking to make sure that he can't do anything in a team fight?
Yeah, that's one thing that, you know, a lot of players, you know, they're good players, like they want to pick LeBlanc, they want to pick someone that can outplay their lane. But when you're a better player or a better laner, you should just pick something that does better in the game because you can outlane them, make sure you're okay, and then you just get to the team fight phase and you just win. And that's kind of what's been happening.
Yeah, well, this is where we come to the point where they get an outcome. But then again, if we understand that Immortals picked themselves in game 2 like some really questionable comp, it reminds me of the previous season where they went into like triple 80 carry comp against TSM and it didn't work out that well.
Fun comps for everyone remembers as well. Yeah. We're going to move it back down. Let's listen in as the analysts break down Cloud9's win.
Man unit was kind of losing the slack in terms of pressure, as we saw even in the gold advantage. Immortals was able to get the first turret, was putting pressure on the map before C9, so maybe work on a little 4-man as opposed to...
Yeah, I mean, when we do look at this champion select, we see once again a unique pick coming out of Huni in the Kennen here for the series at least, right? But the response in the Gnar play just fantastic. I mean, absorbing that pressure from ReignOver, we saw multiple 2v1 outplays, we saw the 1v1 outplays. I mean, quickly picking up 5 kills for himself and having the highest kill participation on the team as a top laner in the early game is pretty nuts.
Right, and I think one thing I want to give a little credit to is Meteos. His pathing took him topside, and this is going to be the first solo kill on your screen. And this was actually just kind of a mistake for Huni to get so close and get ulted into range like that, and a great chase down by Impact. And that's going to kind of set him up to start taking over the game as he's going to keep being able to generate a ton of pressure.
But it was also a really interesting itemization choice, right? He goes immediately for those early Merc treads, getting that tenacity, move speed, and magic resist against the Kennen. So a fantastic pickup for him that allows him to kite things out like this with that that improved movement speed. Just great heads-up play all around, even with the death here, making sure that a kill is still going to get traded.
To be fair, that one was a mess up from ReignOver, using that E onto the minion as opposed to impact, but regardless, just being able to be there, because Meteos would be there to catch the wave anyway, so just being such an all-around presence for his team, just really wonderful to see him play the Gnar as we saw in the previous series.
And I want to get back to the point I was saying. Meteos actually, we were talking, me and Crumbs, about this, actually probably had a really large impact on that lane, despite the fact he didn't visit it early. His decision to go for the blue buff put a ton of pressure on the top side, where Kennen can't pressure as aggressively because he knows Gragas is up there stealing the blue. That RekSai is
in those initial 3 levels where Kennen generally just walks up and autos you constantly.
So I'd like to elaborate on the actual route that you mentioned. He did doubles to red buff to blue buff to invade the blue buff, and then ReignOver did Gromp, Wolves, race into a blue buff invade himself. So what that does is that it splits the map. So you have both teams have one side that is winning very hard because the opposing side knows that the jungler is there, so they cannot play aggressive, and the other side is going to lose because they're on the receiving end. So for example, the dual lane from Cloud9 in this game can't play aggro. You know Rex is on your side of the map. You're kind of going to lose that lane. Whereas the top lane for Cloud9, which is a matchup of Gnar and Kennen, gets completely nullified. The early game from Kennen goes right out the window because you can't play up. Gragas is going to be there, and as soon as that happened, we see Impact getting a good CS lead.
Right, and it kind of hurt Meteos. He was down. It kind of that initial path really works well for ReignOver when he's able to go his blue side, your blue side, his red side again.
He gets 3 quadrants.
Right.
Meteos went from his own red side to the opposing blue side, so he kind of got stuck in 2.
Right, but it's a trade-off if you know what you're doing. And I think this is an example of them really knowing what they want. It just protects Impact so much. It stops Pobelter from getting the blue buff later at like level 5, which would help him out because that is a Zilean favorite matchup. So there were just a couple of things that like hurt only Meteos, but sets up the rest of the team, and it's not very noticeable because it's not like, oh, he visited their lane and blew his flash and traded flashes. It's much more subtle than that.
One of the mini-map plays.
Right.
Yeah, very much so. But once again, we see Cloud9, they did get a small lead, but maybe not as large of one as people would have assumed having, if you focus in on that top lane and see the kind of work that Impact is doing, you'd be like, oh my goodness, Cloud9, they must have like an 8K gold advantage here at 25 minutes. Not at all the case. So Immortals is still finding ways to pick up the gold on the map. We even saw them get first turret even through all this pressure and the winning top side that C9 had.
Well, the biggest one was that as soon as Huni recognized he's losing lane, okay, abandon ship, what else can I do on the map? Immediately goes bottom, finds a way to 3-man push that into the first turret. Then they swap out, go to the top side, take that turret as well, and they have a turret advantage onto the map, whereas a lot of the plays that Cloud9 was doing were focused onto the actual jungle. So the difficulty with going plays in the jungle, if they're not focused on objectives or maybe dragons or buffs, don't result into a whole lot besides kills. So we saw them get some good kills, but just not actual objectives, whereas Immortals did.
Right, and I think that's a good point. It's just the objectives being taken haven't been super controlled by one team or the other. Immortals didn't get the Rift Herald when you're thinking that'd be perfect for the Riven in Game 2.
Right.
In Game 3, we're not seeing it either on anyone. It just seems like with the new meta where there's less lane swaps, that's generally where you would see a Rift Herald taken was during some kind of timing where the other teams split the map bottom.
Right.
There's just generally a little less map splitting, so it's harder to get that buff, but I think that leads to maybe some slower games where like once your top laner starts going off, it can't go off as hard as it used to.
Very much so. All right, well, let's take a look at our only other replay. 30 minutes into the game here, Cloud9 is going to pick up a 4-for-0 in the mid lane, inhib, and a Baron after all.
And this is just the example of a Sivir composition. As soon as you see somebody out of position, Trundle pillar, you're dead. And then they're just going to push straight down middle. And again, more people are going to get picked off. And you see that Impact is pushing down on the side. A nice little flash from Meteos. He's going to immediately pop Adrian back. He tries to flash to survive. But then now you're going to have Impact come in and surprise the Ashe that is just recalling, trying to defend the base, and just get another kill. So just pick after pick from Immortals and refusing to just walk away with the loss. They just keep throwing themselves into Cloud9, and I believe they pick up a Baron even after that.
Yeah, they're good. They get the inhib and a Baron on the back end of all this. Very much an extended fight, but we see kind of the presence of Impact here, his ability to both win the bot lane matchup and then swoop back in behind the team with that frozen mallet. Ashe is completely left out to dry now. No Taric there to support him. Poor WildTurtle in this game did not have the best of times when he got singled out by Impact.
Not at all, but I would say it was a little alarming how difficult it was for C9 to end that game, and I think part of that comes down to Impact's build. He was going off really hard, but everything he built after that first Frozen Mallet was a defensive item, and when you're that far ahead, you can afford to go a second offensive item, especially with a Zilean.
Very much so. So 2-1 is the standing of the series right now. Cloud9 has opted onto the blue side here for Game 4. Immortals backs against the wall. They lost semifinals in spring, being the #1 seed. They're the 2nd seed in here, and they want this final so bad. The players have been super vocal about it. How do they do this coming from the red side here, extend us and push us to a game 5?
Seems like a little bit of PTSD coming from
It kind of is, and we got to wonder how they're going to deal with that as a team.
Well, that's the weird thing is normally, like, as a team starts losing, it's like we got to change things up and try something new. But the thing is, like, they've been doing new stuff.
It's a new thing every game.
Yeah, it's like you see Rumble, that gets banned. It was successful. The Riven, not so much. Let's try the Kennen now.
Right.
And it's getting to this point where it's like, well, your red side, you have counter picks, but you've already been doing
I
that.
think what they have to do is go for the actual guy that's been so solid for them all split long.
Yeah.
It's Pobelter. He's been doing so well with the resources that he gets, and maybe it's difficult for Immortals to try to find a way to play around him more, but if you just give this man resources, he's carrying games. In this position, he's pretty much the reason why they stalled out so damn long.
And what a world for us to live in, that Immortals, right? In the spring split, we're saying it's all going to come down to this guy on your screen here, Pobelter. He was the one who was the source of, he was the criticized one on this team through all the spring split, saying Pobelter is the underperformer if you have to choose one on the team, not saying that he was underperforming. But now here we are, our last chance to get to the finals in the summer split here. It's all going to come down to that mid lane, Pobelter versus Jensen. We've got it as our featured matchup. Stay tuned to see if they can finish off Immortals in Game 4. Cloud9, that is. We'll be right back.
Match point on the line here for this one. Immortals, the favorite, but Cloud9 has certainly looked very good so far today.
Jensen wants in the flash pillar. WildTurtle does not have flash. He will die. The double bomb for Jensen rings true.
I'm fine. RekSai flash in. RekSai flash in. I can hit RekSai. Hit RekSai. Ashe die. We're killing him.
It's risky. ReignOver coming out for the flank. Did C9 overstay?
Can he get it? He wants to get sneaky. Does not find the knockup, but it's gonna be the damage.
Sivir. They don't have Zilean ulti.
We can win.
Chaser. Hey, I'm just hitting impact. I'm just hitting impact. Cutting me.
Ashe dead.
Nice. There you go. Good shit.
That's gonna be game 3 for Cloud9. They are 1 game away from the finals.